Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Would you love to deepen your spiritual connection and create a conscious shift in your life? Do you seek answer to human experience? Well, welcome to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. It's a 2.5-hour safe haven for your questions and Spirit's answers. And you can transform your life right now on VCMG in South Florida. Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium who can assist you to connect the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all possible experience and knowledge. For the next 2.5 hours, listen and call in toll-free 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube and share love and light.
It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart, the ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love for everyone. We have hurt each other. The world is changing now. It's asking us to move along, to open up a different way of loving one another. We can't stay the same. We've lost the game of life. We can't run away anymore. The world is changing now. We need to heed the warning. The world is calling you to rise above where you've been. The world is changing now. What we did before doesn't work. It's time for you. It's time for me to change. The world is changing now. Won't you change and open your heart?
Open your heart right here on VCMG, the oldies station. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, all across the nation, at 866-972-7247. How do we mend a broken heart? And how many times has your heart been broken? How many times have you felt as if your heart would just kind of collapse? You didn't think you could take it anymore. And that feeling of weight and heaviness came upon you. What about that first time you had a breakup? You felt like it came out of left field. You didn't see it coming. Everything was fine. And then all of a sudden it wasn't. And your whole world became shattered. Then, of course, there's the time we lost a loved one, perhaps a parent or a grandparent. We just never really stop to think that eventually someone will exit the planet. But then it's there upon us, and we're faced with the fact that they're not here. And we've got to get used to the fact that they're gone. But how do you heal the grief? How do you mend your heart? And how do you let go of the past and find joy in the present and the future? It's a difficult place to be. There's the times when we've lost a job or unexpectedly a friendship. Kind of came again out of left field, making us uncertain as to how we select opportunities or people in our lives. We've learned to trust ourselves only to think, maybe I can't trust myself. Maybe I'm not a good judge of character. But is it really that you're not a good judge of character? Or is it just what you needed to go through at the time? Then, of course, there's the loss of our pets. That's always an uncomfortable place to be. They're like a child to us, but people may not always see them that way. But they're this ball of unconditional love, this energy that greets us at the door and makes us feel seen and heard and special, and somehow makes all of the day's problems go away. And for those of us who've lost children, be it in a miscarriage or a child that passed unexpectedly, or maybe we had to navigate an illness with a child, how do we explain that? And where's God in all that? What's God doing when all this is going on? How could God let that happen? And then how do we ever move forward? And every day, I sit across all of you. Well, maybe not all of you yet, but one by one, person by person, heart by heart, we share stories. We navigate experiences. And one of the greatest obstacles that we're faced with is this energy of grief when it hits us. And the biggest question people will ask is, how do I go on? How would I ever be the same? One thing we need to always hold near and dear is that they're in our heart. But I know we're physical people, and we want them here. We want to be able to do more things with them. If we could just have that one more conversation, if we could just explain ourselves, if we could just have them know how we feel, or if we could just have that one more dinner together. We long for that, but it doesn't happen anymore. There's a relationship that unexpectedly ends after 30 years of marriage. Just one day the person wakes up and says, I don't love you anymore. It could happen after 5 years. And you think you know a person, right? You think you know the person who's laying next to you in the bed. You think you understand the relationship and the dynamic. And all of a sudden, it's as if they're not the person you thought they were. And it's over. And you're faced with wondering how you missed all the clues, everything that happened behind the scenes. You're faced with, how do you move on? What do you tell everyone when you have to tell them we're not together anymore? What do you tell your children, your family, your friends? And then you're wondering, what did I do wrong? How did I fail the relationship? Is it my fault? And sometimes it brings up in us this sense of, oh, we just want to beg. Don't go. I promise I'll be better. What could I do to make you stay? That's not the right thing. You can't make someone stay. Everyone is in our life for a purpose, a reason, and sometimes a season, and the seasons may not last as long as we would like them to. They just end. And we're left with the aftermath, the sense of being incomplete, the sense of life just throwing us this curveball, and we don't know where to go from there. There's an emptiness. There's a loss. There's an incomplete experience, and we don't have anything to fill it. And even if we had something or someone to fill the spot, would it really make us feel better? Because it wouldn't be that person. It wouldn't be that experience again. It wouldn't be the same. We've all gone through those losses. And there's the shock of, it can't be real. No, this can't be happening to me. This isn't the way it's supposed to be. Especially when we're faced with a loved one passing and it's so unexpected. Something that we didn't see coming. And there's this anger inside that it would even happen. Like, how could this happen? What is going on? There's a myriad of emotions that come up inside of us that we have difficulty processing. And there's a sense of just really not knowing where we belong anymore. Because things aren't used to the way they used to be. I hear the song that Spirit had given me. I've got to get used to the fact that you're gone now. I've got to get used to you're not here. And there's the sense of having to create a new dynamic, a new way of being. In the cases of relationships ending and friendships ending, often when we move down the path of life, could be a year, could be a few years, we look back and we say, I understand now how it happened. I understand why it happened. Or I'm at peace with it, even though I prefer it hadn't happened. But there's a sense of closure that can come. But sometimes when we lose a loved one, we have a lot of difficulty getting past the grief and finding that closure, finding that understanding as to why now, why them, especially all that we've navigated in this time since 2020, where we've been bombarded by different experiences of things just ending. Going to work into the office used to be a thing. Now that's kind of ended. We don't always all go back into the office. Being out in public and getting to be together with our friends, even though we do it now, something about it's changed. We may not be the same as we were before. We ended a way of being in 2020. That was a loss for the collective. That was a loss for everyone. The way life was, the way we were used to it being, the way we looked forward to our days being, suddenly, just like that, stopped. And many of us got thrown into a sense of grief and loss that we didn't even register because it didn't fall under the bucket list of a broken relationship, a loss of a friendship, a betrayal, a loss of a job, a passing of a grandparent. It was a way of life we lost. And many of us left 2020 feeling downtrodden, depressed, broken. Some people were relieved that they didn't have to show up in the ways that they were, because maybe they were showing up, but they weren't being authentic, and they're really more home buddies, and they got to stay home. They got to feel what it was like to be in their own little bubble, and it was good for them. But then they had to emerge back in and bring themselves back to a new way of being, and that felt uncomfortable. So how do we handle all this uncomfortability? And how do we understand who we are in that journey? Any challenge we have, any obstacle we have, any loss we have is essentially meant to make us stronger, help us rely on the fact that we are ever tied to the divine, and nothing in this planet is forever in the physical, but that our spirit is. They haven't been teaching that to us all our lives. So it's kind of a new concept for a lot of us to understand as we embark upon adulthood, that there's a spirit, and the spirit is eternal, but life could change at any moment, and nothing on earth is something for us to get attached to, because after all, you're not taking it with you. You're not taking your car. You're not taking your home. But when you go to the great divine energy, there all the people that you've met along the way are there. That's a lot to wrap your head around. And when you're grieving, that's a really hard concept. I sat across from someone who had just gone through a breakup, and it was a big one. And she really didn't know how she was going to put her life together. And she couldn't imagine her life without this person. And many of us can relate to that. She built her life around the idea of who she thought a person was, only to find out that they weren't that person at all. And suddenly she was questioning everything. Everything about who she was, her ability to understand people, her radar, her intuition. She's like, how is this possible? How is it possible that things could seem so in sync and so in love, and then just, poof, disappear? And how do we identify the people who are in our life for the right reasons, and those who are here just because they're passing through, and all of life is a stage? It was a rude awakening for her. It was a sense of maybe love isn't real. And Spirit was very quickly assuring her that love, the energy, is real. It's just that not everybody speaks the same language of love, and not everybody understands the depth with which love can travel. Remember, love is patient and love is kind. Love is a force of energy that stands the test of time. And sometimes people love each other, but they aren't good together. But the love can last. It just isn't a fit. There's a place for all of us in life where we are put to understand who we are. And understanding who we are is part of learning how to deal with loss. And understanding that we are courageous and that we are beings that are connected regardless of what goes on in the physical. And that God is always there. Even when we don't see God, when we don't feel God, God is always there. There's a vibration of love that transcends through all the pain. But it's difficult to dig through the pain, to sort through the grief that can be debilitating, can make us feel as if life isn't worth living. But you're here. You have an opportunity to shine your light and be who you are. But we just don't know how we're going to navigate what comes next. Happiness is a flow of energy that is fueled by divine inspiration. And when we're in grief, we're removed from that divine inspiration. Do you know that when we're in grief, when we are in loss, when we are in mourning, our loved ones have difficulty actually connecting with us because they're in such a state of grace and love that our grief almost keeps them at arm's length. They can't quite come into our frequency the way we could have them. If we would find peace and contentment in understanding that everything happens for a reason and that there is a divine plan working for us, never against us, that this divine plan has a purpose and a power that is fueled by love, and if through our mourning we could pass through it understanding that the pain will ease, the loneliness will go away, the disappointment, the unfulfilled expectations will be replaced with things that we haven't even imagined possible. As we embrace that and recognize that we are love and we are always loved, even if the people in our lives don't show up for us, or even if the people in our lives have to leave us to go back to the Creator. We are always in the energy of love. And that they all are just a frequency away. And that as we learn to adjust our frequency, as we learn to raise our vibration, as we learn to step away from our grief, they can come closer. And we can feel them more. Does it replace the fact that they're not here physically? No. We've become conditioned to expect that. To expect them to be here. To share those physical experiences. But we have the power to connect. Every one of you has the power to be one with our loved ones. The power to be one with the memories of that relationship. Even though the relationship didn't work, it failed. Maybe there was betrayal, maybe there was disappointment. Maybe you're just so disillusioned by the whole dating love experience. But there are moments. There are moments when you were just so happy. There were moments when you felt connected to this person and something about them made you feel alive. You wouldn't have gotten into a relationship with them if they didn't. So we can go back to those times, to those memories, to the experiences that made you feel happy and joyful and aligned. And to recognize that it served its time. It gave you a taste of what could be. And that the person was literally just the person to open up the door for you. They weren't really the forever person. That the divine plan was just giving you a taste and showing you you've got some work to do on yourself. You've got to aim higher. You reach down and picked a partner. The universe wants you to reach up and say, give it all to me, God. Give me everything I'm worthy of. And exceed my vision of what a partner can be. Exceed my vision of what life can be. Fill me with the harmony that is meant to be here on earth. I know when we lose someone or a relationship ends, sometimes people are like, okay, well, time heals all wounds. Just get over it. It'll be better in a few months. It'll be better in a year. Nobody knows how long it takes for someone to release and grieve. There is no recipe for that. But every time you find yourself in a downward spiral that reminds you of the disappointments of life, or a recent disappointment, a loss of a work, a friend, a loved one, remind yourself that there's a bigger plan playing out, and that you may not be privy to all the inside information of the storyline, but for whatever you received from that experience, be grateful. Yes, we're sad it ended, but be grateful that that being, that person, that animal, that pet came into your life and shared moments with you, and that they're always in your heart. And no one can ever take that away. No one can ever remove you from the flow of love that connected you in the first place. Even in the story of someone loving you, right? There'll always be a piece of you, a tiny part of you that will stay in love with that person, whether they're here or not. So honor that love, honor that experience, and know that in the mending of your heart, you have all the support of the universe, and every part of your being has you aligned with a better story, a better outcome than you're even imagining. And that every soul has its time. And that even though it doesn't meet our expectation of time, they fulfilled their journey, their gift to us, their gift to humanity, their reason for being. And you have a reason for being. So be aligned and trust that you're not alone and that we've all had a broken heart. We're going to continue this conversation as we continue the show right here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, all across the nation at 866-972-7247. We welcome your phone calls. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The world is changing now, and we don't know where to go. The world is different now, and people have lost their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies Channel.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
This show is furnished by Sarah Spiritual.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome back to the next 2 hours of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussions to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect to the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all experience and knowledge. We have another 2 hours to listen and call in 866-9-SARAHs. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can share the love and light.
It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart. The ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love for everyone. We have hurt each other. The world is changing now. It's asking us to move along, to open up a different way of loving one another.
Yes, indeed, the world, it's asking us to find a different way to love one another. But you know where love starts? Love starts with loving yourself. and truly embracing who you are and your worth. You're worthy of all that you desire. You are worthy of being seen and heard, having relationships that you want. You're worthy of abundance beyond the abundance that you already have. It's embracing the fact that all things are possible. Some people think I'm crazy sometimes when I say you could do anything, that the universe has an unlimited, infinite amount of great experiences and abundance for you. They look at me and say, how's that going to happen, Sarah Spiritual? Well, step one is believing. And also, letting go of the past. The past served as your teacher. It's your stepping stone to what's to come next. We cannot be attached to the things that have represented our past, even when they unexpectedly go away. We have to know that it was an infinite experience that will always stay with us energetically, but the actual physical connection needs to sever for whatever reason. And none of us are God, and there's a higher plan that none of us will ever totally understand because it's already been written. Sometimes I scratch my head and I say, how is it possible that our stories are written? Every day we're making life decisions, right? We're deciding what new job we're going to have, who we're going to go out to dinner with, who our friends are going to be, where we're going to live. So how does it really manifest when we're making these choices, but somehow they're always lining up with a bigger, greater divine plan? How is that possible? But it is. You see, some of the ideas that you have that you think are your own unique idea are being kind of fed by the energy of the universe. They're flashing before you things that you could really want, helping you zone in on what's an appealing place to live or the type of person you want to date. They're constantly showing you options, but all of them are designed to kind of send you down a particular path so you could ultimately end up where you want to go. Have you ever wanted to buy a new car? And you start to look at cars and you're like, oh, I like that car, I like that color. And you maybe even go to a dealer and look, but otherwise you're just driving down the highway and you're kind of zeroing in on what other people are driving. And you're like, oh, that's a nice car. I like the front end of that. I like the look of that. I love that color. Oh, that's a convertible. I like that. And you start to get enthusiastic about it. And then after a while, you kind of hone in on one or two of them. Next thing you know, what do you think happens? Now, I'm going to tell you that the universe is kind of like Facebook. Wait till you hear this. The universe kind of reads the algorithm of your thoughts, the frequency of your thoughts, and starts putting in front of you. Once you've decided, I think I want that car, next thing you know, you're seeing a blue car with a convertible top and it's popping around. Next thing you know, you're seeing this beautiful Mercedes and this beautiful shiny black color. Next thing you know, you've got this fabulous SUV, whatever you were imagining. It starts populating in your energetic being, and you start to see it. Now, we know the algorithms are kind of tracking our activities, seeing what our interests are. But you know what? Facebook is not original in that. The universe has been doing that, well, since before we were here. It's always been populating something new and something growing from one to another, and always creating a higher vibrational frequency and sending us these frequencies. That's why I say when we find ourselves in the energy of a broken heart, when we find ourselves just not unable to let go of the past or heal ourselves, we're missing so many of the universe's frequencies of what could be next. And that everything and everyone that's come in our path has just been there to help us. You know, I ask myself this question. You may ask yourself this question. You know, why did this person have to pass at this time? I wish they were here for this. Sometimes I say I don't understand why my spiritual teacher had to pass before I even got on this official path. Like before that, I thought he was just a cool guy with a lot of cool information, just telling me crazy stuff that I was like, okay, sounds interesting. I saw really amazing things happen, and I never imagined it would be my life. But it was all being programmed. It was all being presented to me for consideration. And usually when you're in that state of grief, that state of mourning, that down energy, someone will come in. Now, they're not there to save you. No. They're there to inspire you. They're there to give you a different way of looking at things, or to direct your attention somewhere else so you're not so caught up in the pain and the sorrow and the loss. They're there to give you hope. And when I look at all the hope my teacher gave me at the time that I had met him, I lost my father, lost my grandmother. They had both passed. My life was in this tailspin of change. It was uncomfortable. I was feeling, for lack of a better word, kind of lost, not completely. I had my identity in business and work, but personally, I was like, what's going to happen next? Because every time I turned around, something went wrong. I know many of you can relate to that. So in that thought process, I didn't know what could change. It didn't seem like much was going to change. And then entered a person who gave me ideas and different things to focus on, and actually helped me find my power. Not just my human power, but my divine power. And sometimes that's the purpose of grief, to help you go back to the center of who you are, to help you realize there is no separation between you and God. There is no separation between you and your loved one, and there is no real separation from the love that you felt from someone, for someone, even though they're not in your life anymore because they choose not to be. It's all connected. It's all there for a reason. So as you navigate your life now, look at the fact that everything's happening for a reason and happening for you. When I opened the center in 2006, my goal was to give people hope. Because after all, that's what I had been given, hope. And who would have thought that a dream of sharing hope would bring us all together this way? It wasn't even in my mind. I just thought, wow, I'll just have a place, people will come, we'll build a little community, we'll connect one by one, you'll share your stories, I'll exchange the energy from spirit and give you hope to navigate where you are, what's bothering you, and help you come out the other side. That's what was done for me. I'm going to pay it forward. And look at where we all are now. Your worst moment could be the best opportunity to create your destiny. But because we're caught up in the worst moment, which can be devastating and a truly visceral, physical experience that brings you to your knees. We've all had that moment. I remember the time I was so upset, it was like a scene out of the soap opera. I was crying and I was leaning against the wall and I just kind of slid right down the wall and was just a mess. I remember that feeling. I remember those tears and what prompted those tears. And really, when I look back, I was like, wow, that would have been a great scene for a soap opera. It's priceless. But it was the grief was that overwhelming that there I was sitting on the floor in a ball of tears. And I originally had started standing and I just couldn't stand anymore and I just went down. Sometimes life brings us down and we do have a broken heart. So wherever you are in this journey, know that you're not alone. And here in our studio, every Wednesday night, we're here to help you navigate those changes. We're here to help you answer your questions. We're here to help you grow. to not just look at what appears to be, but look at the infinite possibilities of what can come. And that what you've had in the past is always in your heart. Well, we're going to take your phone calls at 866-972-7247. We're going to welcome our friends on Facebook and on YouTube. And if you haven't followed my YouTube page, please get on Sarah Spiritual on YouTube and follow the page, share the light with us, join the conversation. You'll find so many of my channeled songs and so many of our monologues. If you've enjoyed this monologue, just imagine going through, well, I don't even know. We've got so many videos there. I don't even have a count for you. All the countless monologues that are there to help you through life every day. We've got our callers on the phone line, 866-972-7247. And we're going to go to the phone lines. And I've got to go to Terry. Terry is in Oregon. Terry, how are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm
Sarah?
good. Good to make this connection with you, Terry.
You as well. I want to know if my grandfather or my grandma's going to get a hold of me.
Well, they don't have a cell phone where they are. You know this, yes? Are they trying to get a hold of me? Yes, they are, but not quite in the way you think, okay? I love the way you said that, so I was like, I had to run with that here. You know, when you feel them, let's go back to my analogy of when you're thinking of a car. When people who we love keep popping in our mind and they keep feeling their presence or feeling like they're trying to send us a message, that in itself is the message. I find that as humans, we want to know specificity. So the first thing I get is that grandmother's energy is really strong around you. And that your grandmother is there to help lift you up because you've been navigating some difficult times. Is that true?
Correct.
And that there's been some unsettling experiences that we're trying to get back into order. And your grandmother's energy reads as a very resourceful woman. Is that also true?
Yes, that is very true.
And your grandfather was someone that we could count on to figure things out. Yes?
Correct. Yes. They were my best friends.
They were your best friends. And that you would run things by them. And your grandfather's giving me, do you have like a silver dollar or something that was his from when he was alive, please?
I do not. I wish I do not.
Okay. Do you know if
I may?
Okay, he collected coins or silver dollars or silver, please?
Yes, he did.
Okay, thank you for that. Because he's giving me a silver $50, right? Or a dollar, right? I can't tell the denomination, but it's a shape of something bigger than a quarter, and it's silver, and he's giving it to me. And whatever the financial things are that you're navigating, whatever you're looking to straighten out, he's got that support for you. And remember that the abundance that flows to you is also directed by the universe. And that things that appear tarnished and old, with a little polish, can turn to silver. Remember that.
Yes, and I have found some silver coins, and I know he left them for me.
Ah, there you go. So what did he leave for you? Say that again for me. I want to really understand this.
That he did leave me a silver dollar.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, about a week or two ago.
You happen to find one, right? Now,
yes, and I'm like,
I wouldn't know that. Where did I get this from? Exactly. That came from him because that's specifically what he's showing me. So you see, you wouldn't have thought that was a message from him. But when something random like that pops up, instead of going, where did I get this from? Say thank you to the universe. Say thank you to everyone for giving you something unexpected, because that's a positive sign that things are going to change. And your grandfather, being the practical one, is going to give you a silver dollar, right? Because that's why I said, do you have a silver dollar of his? And it turns out, not his in the physical from when he was alive, but silver coins represented something to him. And look what he put in your path. And then look how the universe, with the prompting, led you to call, so you got your evidence.
Correct. Thank you, Sarah. Well, I was telling him because he was leaving me dimes, and I'm like, well, hey, can you leave me something bigger than that? Because, dimes are kind of...
watch what you say, because I'll tell you what, dimes can mean something, right? The other day, we were just sharing this before the show. I was by a slot machine. I had traveled, and I was by a slot machine, and I said, I need to play this machine. And $300 in pennies. We'll take it. Okay? Now, would you think a penny has that much value? When it adds up to $300, it does, honey, right? So be open to that, right? Be open to the possibilities that something can happen.
No,
and
I
that
am.
10
I
cents
am,
could
but I
be
was just
magnified. I know, but you were joking. You're saying, let's up the ante. And yes.
Right.
So, and he heard you.
There we go. Yes.
There we go. All right. So now from dollars, it's only up from here, honey. All right. Thank you so much. Know that things will work out for you. Things are going to balance out. And yes, your grandmother and your grandfather are both with you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. God bless you. Thank you.
God bless you. Bye for now. 866-972-7247. From Oregon, I've got to go to New York. I've got Rachel on the line. Rachel, how are you?
Hi, Sarah. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to make this connection with you. Rachel, how can we mend a broken heart? What's your question? How can we assist you?
Yeah, I've been working with my clients for over a year and a half now, and she was 100, and she just passed away a couple of days ago. And, this really resonates with me because I am grieving, and my heart does feel broken. Mm-hmm. But I'm also feeling a little lost, and I don't have work right now, and we just bought a condo, and, I'm a little worried about income. So I was just wondering if you see any work or, any sort of financial gain coming in anytime soon.
Absolutely.
I'm afraid that I'm going to be spending all my savings here.
No, don't put that energy out. The universe will supply you with more than enough. But the first thing I'm made aware of is that this year, and you were with this client for a little bit of time, correct? Yes?
Yeah.
More than 2 years or about 2 years?
Yeah, about 2 years.
Thank you for that, because that's the energy, the timeline that they give me. And when I look at this year of 2024, the end of 2023 into 2024, it is a year of closure. It is a year of endings. And so it is a time for her to have crossed over, and it is a time in your life to experience that. And now it's a time for you to re-strategize, restructure. Where do we go from here? And yes, patients come, and then unfortunately they go, and it determines your livelihood. But I do feel another client coming. I do feel that we need a little break. So I am feeling that the next 3 weeks are your downtime, and that there is another patient that will come for you, another client, and that it's for you to enjoy these next few weeks. And then towards the end of April, we want to look to welcome in some new work for yourself. I do feel that you will not have to use your savings, that you are going to be fine, and it's going to move rather quickly for you. Just be open to it, but settle into the energy of the blessing that she was in your life, and that you helped her extend her life. That was the soul contract. And talk to her, and she will help you line up with the perfect person next.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Sarah.
You're
so you
welcome.
See about 3 weeks.
I see 3 weeks opens up the energy for work. We do want you to take the break and really just rest right now, and then use the energy to move forward. Mercury will be retrograde in the next few weeks anyhow, so we might as well not start anything new until Mercury comes out of retrograde. And that gives you a chance to kind of say, well, what type of work would I like to do? Who's the perfect patient for me? We want you to write it down. We want you to manifest. We want you to focus on what you'd like to create. We want you to reflect on what you want to release from the past so that new things can open up, right? And I feel like we're on solid ground by June. So between the end of April to June, that's the window of time that we will attract something. All right?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, my
Thank
dear.
you so much.
Thank you so much for your call. We greatly appreciate you for listening to the show, Rachel. Bye for now. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
866-972-7247. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then when we come back, we're going to come back and answer your questions. We're also going to visit our friends on Facebook and on YouTube, so stay with us. You're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and that's me, Sarah Spiritual. We'll be right back.
Do you know me? Do I know you? Have we met before? I've been standing in the room before.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual, at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your soul? Because you know that you know me.
Every soul has its story. What's your story? We are tuning in all across the nation at 866-972-7247 and answering your questions, as we do every Wednesday night from 6:30 to 9 p.m. And we're counting up to our 15-year anniversary. I can't believe it's been this long. But here we are, all chatting about spirit. I want to visit my friends on Facebook and YouTube and see what the questions are before we go back to our phone lines. And if you haven't picked up the phone to join us, then please do. You might be cruising in the car and say, hey, I've got a question. Or maybe you've been sitting there listening in your home or watching us on television on YouTube and said, hey, I want to pick up the phone and join the conversation. We welcome you. This is the place where we want to hear from you. But let's see what our friends have to say on Facebook and YouTube. Let's pull a question from our Facebook page. See who we have here. All right, we've got Karina Gillies. She says, is this relationship good for me? Should I invest in a property? Thank you so much. So we've got two questions in one. So let's take a look. I'm going to figure that the first birthday in the listing is yours. That's what Spirit's making me feel, Karina. So when I look at that, the first thing that I'm made aware of is that this year is a year for you to make change. And the changes that you make are about putting yourself first. And we want to find a relationship that's going to fill your cup. And the relationship that you're asking about is a solid relationship. But the question is, are they going to be as fun and dedicated to the relationship as you are? This is the question. Now, as far as investing in property, the property that you're looking at, considering the idea of it, is something for you to hold on until we get towards the end of the year. So don't put your money in a property yet. I feel there'll be a better deal to be had if you wait a little longer. Relationship, are we a good vibrational match? Are we equally yoked? I'm feeling as if there's some stability and there's an attraction to that, but are they going to be as fun-loving and invested in the actual relationship and the romance of it as you would like a relationship to be? Only you can answer that question. It's food for thought from Spirit. Thanks so much, Karina, for following the show and sharing our Facebook experience. Let's take another question from our friends on Facebook and YouTube. Let's see what we've got going on. Okay, Jessica, she's got quite the story here. And so she wants to know if she should move on or is he proceeding on his own way. She was in this relationship and she really feels that maybe a question she had asked, Miss Jacina, asked this question of her partner, and now she's thinking he's afraid and he is maybe pulled back in the relationship. And sometimes this happens because we are asking people to be accountable of their words, their actions, their emotions. We're asking people to be transparent, and sometimes people are just living in the experience and they don't stop to think, well, what does this mean for the future? Or what is it that I really want in this relationship? And often as partners, one of the partners is making it easy for the other to be in the relationship. So they just kind of go along. And now it's time for this person that you asked the question of, for him to share his real feelings. And now he has to step back and evaluate. So should she move on, or is he proceeding in his own way? We are not telling you to move on, and we are not saying he's proceeding in his own way. What we're saying is that now the relationship, it has an opportunity to up level and see if we're both going to be in it for the long haul. Because actually, Jacina, that's what you want, correct? You want someone who's going to be in the relationship for the long haul. So yes, sit, be still for now, and let's give him some time and space for this. And I feel like there's another conversation, another part of the journey that's to be had before we can throw the towel in and say, it's not going to work. Give this some time. We needed to get some answers, and now he needs to go back to his thoughts and his processing and share with you his truth. And a man of integrity and courage and belief in who he is going to come to you and share his truth. And that's what we're looking for him to show you, his true, authentic self. Thank you so much for your Facebook question. Let's pull one more from Facebook and YouTube before we go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. So they're prompting me to go back to the phones because the phone lines are just popping off. So I just got to go back, and I've got to go to Hollandale. I've got Joey in Hollandale. Joey in Hollandale, how are you?
I am grateful to hear your voice again. Always makes me cheerful.
Thank you. Good to have you joining us. I'm great. Thank you. What is your question for us?
Okay, I made notes because I'm all over the place. So I'm having money worries. I want to see if it's going to be growing anytime soon. I'm also worrying about debt. I kind of got myself into a little bit of debt ahead of time, counting on some money that didn't flow in. Okay. And then I want to take I feel my love life is getting closer, but whatever spirit wants to come to you, bless you. Whatever's most important.
Okay, so let's take a look at where we are now in the financial aspect of it. So somehow we've pinched off the flow of money, and there's nothing, well, I know financial advisors wouldn't advise what I'm about to say, but there's nothing wrong with creating something knowing that the universe is going to cover it, okay? We have to do that all within reason, and I don't feel that you've done it unreasonably, and I feel that the universe is going to match you and back you in your expenditure, right? The debt that you created. And we need to look at the universe offering us multiple streams, multiple spigots with which abundance can flow to us. So this can often include games of chance, opportunities for gifts and things of value. You know, I know someone on Facebook, she's always winning. She's always winning like tickets to concerts and things, and those have value, right? So we want to look at what can you get from value, not that you worked for, that the universe can give you, and that then the universe can flow additional abundance to you in many different ways. And I want you to be open to that. The fear around the abundance is just an old habit of lack, an old habit of getting by, squeaking by, grateful to have gotten by. But now we need to remember that we can be abundant beyond measure. And I feel like the next 2 months, you may feel a little bit restricted. Things open up over these next 2 months. So when we feel restricted, when we feel shut down, when we feel closed off, just trust the universe is going to open up and bring you more. Okay, and there'll be that phone call of someone who says wants you to do something for them, so you can earn money for that. There'll be a gift that means you have to spend less money to buy it for yourself because someone gives it to you. Someone will bring you a plate of food, one less meal we had to pay for. This is how the universe will begin to work, and the more you allow it to work in little ways and recognize it as the abundant flow, the more it will amp up and the greater the gifts from the universe will become. I say this to you, Joey, and I say this to everyone listening. Trust that the universe always has quick cash for you whenever you need it. They will always find a way. Now, let's look at your love life. It's been a little rocky. It's been a little bumpy because we're not quite attracting the right person who's going to be the equal vibrational match for you. And you have a vision of what you want. But right now, Joey, you are caught in the energy of timing. And timing is really leading you up to this year around your birthday, because this is when we kind of break the mold and we break the past experiences and even disappointments that we've had in relationships. It's like a matter of energy kind of fading and wearing off. And I also know that your mind has been, you said all over the place, but in the manifestation process, you've been trying to manifest multiple things. And the universe, what I love about them, what I love about the divine and our guides, is they always want to make sure that we're okay. And sometimes they focus on our career and our money and making sure these things are moving before they bring that partner in, so that we aren't all over the place concerned in fear, and therefore we cannot enjoy the relationship. So allow them to ramp up this financial hiccup that appears to be presenting itself. Allow them to ramp it up to a great resolution, and then know that love is going to come. You do not know the person. You haven't met the person. It's not a person from the past. It's nobody in your radar.
No.
You haven't met them yet. As Michael Bublé would say, I just haven't met you yet. So be open to the infinite possibilities of who that can be. And take yourself out of your circle. Go somewhere different. You know, maybe traveling is not easy for you, but we want you to go somewhere different. Meet a new group of people. This is going to open up a different flow of energy so that you can attract a better partner.
This year is going to be, I'm going to catch up on the 2 years I didn't go to the beach. Thank God through new medication and I lost 48 pounds, which I'm grateful.
Great.
And I feel like I'm ready. So,
Good.
And I'm going to just go find different places to go to.
Beautiful. Well, we are very glad that you're all ready for that. And the beach is a great place to meet people, to talk, to relax, and the energy is always free-flowing. So that's a beautiful place to meet people. And, you know, the best part is it doesn't really cost us or anything to be in Mother Nature and to honor the earth.
Yeah.
Joey, you're on a really good track.
Thank you
I
very
want
much.
you to know that, all right?
Yeah, I feel it. Thank you. I didn't open my mouth so I wouldn't interrupt you, because everything you have said, I agree with. And I even remembered things from when you read me that my mom passed away, that you were accurate. I was just too nervous. That's why I made notes so I wouldn't be all over the place. And I thank you on the other person that you read about their parent. I went to the barber two barbers ago, and I saw my grandfather's face in my face. And I know he's trying to get me. I'll get in touch with him.
Correct.
He's trying to tell me something that I'm like the last generation. You know, like I got really melancholy.
Yeah, the last of the Mohegans, so
me.
to speak. Yes, absolutely.
I kind of felt that I was healing and grieving a little bit with my mom and all that. That's why the money is not really, you know, I'm not paying as much attention. I'm taking time away to honor that time.
Yes.
And I really know that I called you because you are, if I could pay for a session once a month with you, I would be there. I want to get there. I'm going to get there.
Okay. Well, I look forward
because
to
you're
that.
a great mentor as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. And I'm sure the doors will open when it's the perfect time for us to connect and for us to facilitate your growth. And in turn, as all of you grow, then I always know I get to grow too. So it's always so much fun. Thank you so much, Joey, for following the show. I know you've been a part of us for a very long time. We greatly appreciate it. And we wish you the best on this journey. And may the universe shower you with silver dollars and all will be well. Bye for now.
Thank you to everyone. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye. 866-972-7247. And we're going to go to Tina. Tina's in Boca. Tina, how you doing tonight?
Hello, my dear Sarah. I am wonderful, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. Good to have you joining us tonight.
Always a delight, Sarah, and I had the joy and the complete privilege of meeting you in person at the end of February at your live show. Thank you so much for hosting us. It was just awesome.
Thank you. We were glad to have you, and thank you for thinking of us and being a part of this experience. Tina, where shall we go with you tonight? Because there's so much that we could share. What's your question for us?
Well, the question is, well, you know how totally grateful I am, and I feel I'm on my perfect path in God's eyes. So thank you, Spirit, for that, and you for helping to facilitate that confirmation. But recently, I had a little injury. I'm healing well. It is my lateral meniscus, and I just wondered if, you know, they say there's a reason, and I know you like to say this too, for everything. And I was just wondering if the reason that this happened, besides being a great education and a great workout, I might add, was for me to focus a little bit more and sort of reset my health, or what Spirit says the reason was behind it and what I should gather from it. Because I'm all about, you know, moving forward and evolving, hopefully learning and growing and sharing that knowledge and that light.
So the first thing I am being made aware of is, where were we not being as flexible as we needed to be? Where couldn't we bend? Why aren't we able to feel supported so that we can have a spring in our energy, right? This is where's that limitation? Why where were we not being flexible, or what are we holding on to that we're not letting go of, and therefore we're being rigid, right? This is the energy. And I know rigidity is not a way of your personality. I understand that. But sometimes we become attached to something and we're not being flexible in the outcome. Like sometimes we say, Tina, oh, I trust Spirit. Yes, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. But then in the end of the day, we're like, I want what we want because we're human, right? I'm like, sometimes I'll say to Spirit, I'm like, Jiminy Crickets. You know, I like the version, but I kind of was hoping it was going to go this way. And then they'll say, Sarah, spiritual goes our way. I'm like, oh, yeah, I know. So where are you not being flexible? Where do you not feel like you can hold yourself up and kind of bend into the rhythm of life? Where is that in your life, Tina? Because that's what we want to look at. And you see that flexibility and that there's a little tear in the meniscus. Is that what it is?
It's the doctor, the chiropractor, he thinks it's more of a strain than a tear, but it could be small tears, probably a little combination. And it's healing well. It's only been a week and I'm doing much, much better, actually less than a week. So
beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to say give it about 6 weeks for it to really feel strong. And it also, and I'm not an astrologer, but my guides are also making me feel like it also had to do with some of the transits that were happening in your health house, in your astrology. This is what I'm hearing. I have no clue what that is. But in the house of health, it is something that was out of alignment there, and so it manifested there. And that was a weak spot for you, so it hit you there.
Right. But yet I feel it's... even though I hate that it happened, but it's, it did, and I'm lucky it wasn't worse. I feel that it has sort of reset me in a way, health-wise, and that part is positive. Do you know what I'm saying? Like my focus and sort of my commitment, if you will, to better health,
Better health, less inflammation, and stretching, right? The key to everything is to stretch, right? And what does the universe ask of all of us? The universe asks all of us to stretch, to reach for new heights, to reach energetically and meet our vibration to their vibration. So how can you stretch and grow? This is the lesson that you will learn from this.
Gotcha. No, and I feel that makes sense to me. Thank you so much for confirming that. By the way, I recently bought one of your beautiful sprays. Actually, 2 of them. The Soulmate, which we know he's coming. I think you said around my birthday, so I can't wait.
Yes.
I'm excited. But also the Abundance spray, and I have to say they're both beautiful. They smell fantastic. But the Abundance spray is absolutely one of my all-time favorites. Do you have a favorite of yours? Because it's just so beautiful.
That's a great question because Spirit's given them all to me. They're kind of all my favorites. And I love to go back to some of my original products. And when I go back, my very, very first spray was my reversing spray. And people go, reversing? What's reversing? It's a very light scent, but it reverses any negativity that's attached itself to your energy or the energy of your location, right? That was one of the very first products we made. And then we have my money oil, which I just love and I use whenever I do anything having to do with money. And my attraction oil. Like those are my 3 top favorites because they were my original products. But yes, there is something really unique with our Abundance spray. There's a great recipe associated with that. And the fragrance is very full-bodied without being overpowering. And our money spray also has a lovely scent to it. Some people really love that one as well.
Yeah, I was going to try that one next, actually. So thank you for recommending it. They all sound fantastic.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if Spirit had any other information. I'm still moving on my path, going to the creative side, getting those wheels in motion, and just wondering if they saw anything else.
So this is interesting. They gave me a sketchbook. Have you been sketching or drawing anything or doodling something out? Or It's a weird thing for
Well,
them to give
making
me.
notes. I'm updating my creative resume and working on that, and my comp card and things like that. So that's all in process right now.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I want you to sketch out your life. Some people
Okay.
make a vision board. My guides are telling me to tell you to take a plain piece of paper and kind of sketch out. You don't have to be an artist. Sketch out
Sure.
the flow, okay? The flow of what life is going to do. Sketch it out
Right.
so you have like a roadmap for yourself. And that's going to make all the
Right.
difference in the world.
Oh, fantastic! Because I just wrote some notes. My dearest soul sister gave me a little box. Give it to God, which we always do all the time anyway.
Right.
And you with a little pencil and a pad, and I put in there things that, well, of course, had to say peace on earth first because come on, that's a given. Me
That's
and
going to
Sandra Bullock,
require
right?
a lot of notes, right? We need a lot of notes for peace on earth, right?
I was going to say, and then I went into the more personal things, and it felt really good to do it, to write it down. So I will
Correct.
elaborate, and I will do the sketches. That's a wonderful idea. And any other messages from my amazing guides, my parents,
Mother
family,
steps
my little
forward
my
for
little
me.
kitties up there.
Your mother is with you. Mom wants you to know she's with you. Mother's energy is with you.
Thank you. Yeah,
Uh,
I feel it.
So when you write, this is one of the things my spiritual teacher taught me. One of the first things he taught me is make a list of about 3 to 5 things you'd like to have happen in the next 3-5 months, and just write it down.
Right.
And just leave it. Just don't even look at it, and kind of check back in about 2-3 months. You'd be surprised how much has already happened.
Oh, I love that. Okay, that's fantastic. Can't thank you enough. Again, you are just a gem, and may Spirit bless you. I send you love and blessings,
Thank
Sarah,
you.
and to all of your wonderful listeners, too, because love is the most powerful thing that we have. And it's, it doesn't cost a thing to spread it either.
It does not. It does not. And the more we do, the closer we get to God. So thank you so much, Tina, for
Absolutely.
this fabulous conversation. Greatly appreciate you. For now, we say farewell. All right.
Thank you.
Bye. 866-972-7247. We're so excited. We are launching our next apprentice program, and that starts April 4th. Apprentice program, you may ask? Well, have you been working on balancing your energy? Are you learning to work with your frequency? Do you want to know how to build a better connection to your guides and your angels? Do you want to have a better control over what your path can look like because you're an active participant in the frequency in the universal plan? We're going to teach you how to launch your divine plan and how to be aligned with the Ascended Masters. And we're going to use the teachings of the I Am discourses, the Violet Ray. We're going to tune into the guides, the masters. And we're going to connect to your soul family and find out what your ancestors had intended for you when they paved the way generations before you. You see, as I started to say in the beginning of the show, none of this is by accident. It is all happening according to a divine plan, and we'd like you to understand your divine path and manifest the best version. Do you want to go through the main road with all the main amusement, excitements, and gifts and glory? Or do you want to be on the side of the murky, detoured road where we don't always have paved roads and things look a little dark and dingy? Well, sometimes when we're not paying attention to the clues that the universe is always giving us, we don't know how to look for them, how to receive them, how to interpret them. We end up on the detour for a while, and then eventually we end up back on the main road. So let's carve out your divine path. Go to sarahspiritual.com. There you're going to learn about the apprentice program and all the different classes that are participating in that one program. It is a 6-program event. We have been teaching this apprentice program since 2013, and many of my students have been participating in it since inception. So we'd love to have you grow with us. If you are looking to expand your consciousness, raise your vibration, make stronger, better connections, and feel a better sense of peace and harmony, this is the program for you. We have it at a value that is easily affordable for everyone. Join us for this 2024 apprentice program, Your Divine Path. Learn more at sarahspiritual.com. And if you would like a personal session with me, Sarah Spiritual, then please go to sarahspiritual.com. There you'll find all the different sessions that I offer, a general session to answer life's questions. Perhaps you want to do some healing and do some work on the aspects of your childhood that have prevented you from having a fulfilled life. Or maybe you want to know what your life's path and purpose is. Or maybe, just maybe, you're wondering who your guides and your angels are. Well, we've got all those sessions and more. Go to sarahspiritual.com. We're welcoming your questions on Facebook. We're welcoming your phone calls at 866-972-7247. Let's see, do we have another question on Facebook or YouTube? I would love to answer one more question before we go to commercial, if there's someone there waiting for us. Who's got a question for us? All right. We have got Marcia. Marcia Contreras says, my birthday, and she gives us that, I'm feeling that I need guidance from my grandmother. And so she gives me her grandmother's birthday. And you know what I've got to say? I've got to say that I love Marina's, your grandmother's birthday. It's got such a powerful energy. And you're feeling the energy of your grandmother because it's also something that was tied to the memories of the holidays and the way she always made sure that people came together. And she always made sure that people felt supported. And she was the one that you would always have a conversation with. And your grandmother wants you to know that at this time, where you are in this journey, it's really about getting yourself in a better order and balance and prioritizing you over other people. And sometimes, Marina, you don't always put yourself first, but it's okay to take care of yourself. Things will find a better rhythm and a balance for you in these next few months. And grandmother also makes me feel like in the next few months, I feel like it's around the May, June time, that there's something significant for her or for you that's going to be important. And so that'll be a day for you to remember. I don't know if it's her passing anniversary, but she's bringing me to the May, June time. So know that she's with you, that she's going to help you have better order and balance. And she's also making me go to the Blessed Mother, Virgin Mary, and tell you to put a prayer into the Virgin Mary so that you can have that peace and that sense of nurturing that she would give you if your grandmother were here still on earth. Know that she's in your heart and that she will always be a part of the experience with you. I know she was your best friend. Thank you so much for your question. I love answering questions on Facebook and YouTube, and we want to hear from you. Share the page, share the light, share the love, share that Facebook page, and subscribe to Sarah Spiritual on YouTube. That's where you're going to get all the great information as to when we're going live next. Stay with us, everyone. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to be back to answer your questions at 866-972-7247 right here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah.
The world is changing now, and we don't know where to go. The world is different now, and people have lost their way. It's just not easy.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
WSFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies channel.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
This show is furnished by Sarah Spiritual.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canales Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Welcome back to the next hour of Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, as we continue our uplifting and empowering spiritual discussion to transform your life. A gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium, Sarah Spiritual will assist you to connect to the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all experience and knowledge. We have another hour to listen and call in 866-9-SARAHs. That's 866-972-7247. And watch Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube, and you can share the love and light.
The world is changing now, and we don't know where to go. The world is different now, and people have lost their way. It It's just not easy to be who we want to be. 'Cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart. The ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love for everyone. We have hurt each other. The world is changing now. It's asking us to move along, to open up a different way of loving one another. We can't stay the same. We've lost the game of life. We can't run away anymore. The world is changing now.
The world is changing now, and we are here, and it's asking us to heed the warning of finding the energy of love, more love, and opening up our hearts. But how can our heart be open if our heart's feeling broken, if we're feeling lost, if we are uncertain as to our purpose in this world, if we're not feeling happiness and joy? Sometimes it's hard to heed that warning of being in the energy of love. If you missed the opening of the show, then I encourage you to go back on our YouTube channel at Sarah Spiritual and listen to Spirit's opening message on how to heal our broken heart and what we've all been through and how we can use our hurt and our pain to manifest and create better experiences moving forward. Well, welcoming you here on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. You're listening to us on the Oldies station. You're also hearing us on WSFS 104.3 in Miami. I got my friends listening to me on 95.3 and 95.9, 96.9, 106.9, and 103 HD3. We're so glad to be connecting with all of you on all these stations. Share the word. Tell them that every Wednesday night they can come and hang with us, Sarah Spiritual and the Spiritual Community Gang. All of our radio listeners, we've got millions of people sharing this experience, and I'd love for you to be a part of it and all of your friends and family too. We've got callers on our board waiting to ask their questions at 866-972-7247. If you'd like to join the conversation, there's no better time than now to pick up that phone and join the conversation. Those of you on Facebook and YouTube, put your questions in the feed. We'd love to hear from you for your comments. We'll be getting to you soon. So we've got to go back to our phone lines, and I've got to go to Raghu. Raghu is in Texas. Raghu, how are you? Raghu, are you with us?
Hey, sir, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah,
Good
I'm
to
good.
have you
How are
here
you?
with us. Thank you so much for joining us. Raghu, how did you hear about the show? Is this your first time calling?
Yeah, it's my first time calling. I heard about this show from a friend.
Well, wonderful. We're glad to have you here. And what is your burning question for us, Raghu?
I moved here recently to Dallas, Texas. Just wondering about, my love life in general. Anybody around here, or what's in hold for the future? Some those sort of things.
Well, let's take a look at what I see here. The first thing that they are making me aware of is that this year is a year you actually picked the perfect year to make a move. It's a perfect year to establish a new community, a new tribe, a new group of people. So you're surrounding yourself with a new circle, new friends, new people, and this is going to open up new possibilities. It's also the perfect energy, the perfect time to meet a person, a partner. Let's call it the one, calling in the energy of the one. This is something that opens up not quite just yet in this early part of the year. It's something that builds up towards the second half of the year. When I look at where you are and I go back to the past, my spirit guides take me to 2019. Was this a time of change and some shifts for you in relationships and personally, please, Raghu?
Yes. Yeah.
Right? We went through a major change in 2019. Does that sound about right for you, please?
Not. Actually, no. Not really.
Okay. Perfect. 2019, according to Spirit, is a time that we made a shift and a change. If it's not something that was significant, it was an undertow. It was something that was designed to kind of put you on a path here. My guides tell me that in this moment of time, we are preparing for a new relationship. We're also looking at the work environment. What is your question around work, please?
Starting a new venture, a business venture. I would love to know how that's going to proceed.
Again, perfect time for you to be doing that as well. This business venture, when I see the venture, it makes me feel like we are starting a venture, but we're going to do it with someone else too. Yes, it is something that we collaborate with others, or we have others associated with the project. Does that make sense to you, please?
Sort of, yes.
Do we need to work with people or contract with other people in consultative manner? Yes, the business is built on connecting with other people, yes?
Yes.
Okay. This is a business that is something that has been in your mind for a while and you're now getting to put it into actuality. Is that also true?
That is true, yes.
Okay.
For a while now, yep.
Yes, for a while it's been on your mind. It's something that you've been kind of trying to put it in the right perspective. This is the perfect time to launch. 2025 is a good year of financial wellness. So the seeds that we sow in this 2024 year, 2025 is your money year. It is a year that brings abundance. It is going to give you a strong foundation and sets the pace for the next 7 years from then. So you're on track. You're in the right place at the right time. You're doing all the right things. Things are just not gelling just yet. Be patient with the experience. You have given much thought and consideration. You don't irrationally do things. You always weigh out your pros and cons. You're right on time for everything that you desire. And when you least expect it, Raghu, your love will come. Be open to that possibility, all right?
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you, Sarah.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Bye for now. 866-972-7247. We're going to go back to our phone lines, and we've got to go to Ashley. And Ashley is in Fort Lauderdale. Ashley, how are you?
Hey.
Good to have you here.
Yeah.
What is your question for us?
It's about my love life and also my next step, like what financially and what's my next step.
Okay. So this year for you represents, because you've been through a lot of changes and a lot of difficulties coming out of 2023 into 2024. Yes, it's been a little bit of a shake-up for you. Is that true?
Yeah.
And almost brought you to your knees, but here you are. You're back up again, yes? And I see new financial opportunities coming for you. We're looking for new work because I see new money coming to you.
Not really, just that I learned something new because I'm an earstylist, so I went to learn something.
Okay, so new money can come through a way of a new offering, a new opportunity, some different skill set. I do see more money coming, new money. It seems to come from a new source, a different source, all right? And then I also see here in this energy that your love life has been a bit of a mess. Is that true?
Yeah.
Hot mess, but mess, yes, hot mess. When we look at love, we need to clear up the relationships that haven't served you well, and we need to change what we're asking for from the universe, because we're attracting people who are not supporting you in what you want to create, and in the end, you're left holding the bag. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Ashley, we are looking for a new partner at this time. Is that true? Because I see love coming. For some reason, Ashley, your phone is not clear, so could you please speak into the phone so I and the radio audience
No, I
can
said
hear
not
you?
really. I'm not really looking for a new marriage. New partners. I'm currently married right now, so I don't know.
But the relationship is proving to be difficult at this time. Is that true?
It's what?
Your relationship is giving you difficulties at this time. We're not on the same page. Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a year we get it together or we keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to do the work here, and our
Okay.
partner has to be willing to do the work with us. I feel like there's been a divide for the past year. Is that also true?
For the past couple months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's drill back, and let's go back to last year around this time. When did things start to shift? When did things start to change? When we notice it is usually
Yeah.
not the time it
Yeah,
really
last
started to
year-
change.
Yeah, last year this time, yeah.
Yes, all right. So we need to work on communication. We need to work on transparency. These are things we need to work on in the relationship. This relationship, is it being tested? It's either going to move forward or it's going to come to a close.
Okay.
All right. So have a time with your partner. Spend more time together. See if we can get on a better page. Right. I feel like there's been a lot of stress, a lot of financial stress between the two of you. What is your partner's birthday, Ashley?
The 25th of March, it just gone Monday.
Okay.
Her 25th,
Got it.
1992.
Got it.
1992. Mm-hmm.
And your partners had a rough year for their work as well. Yes, it was a tough time for them last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's
He lost his job.
You both have been under
One
a lot of
lost his job.
stress. Yeah, I understand. So we need to work on getting things back on track, and then we can work on the relationship. All right, so that we
That's
can be in
true.
a better path. All right. Trust that you have the support of your angels and your guides, Ashley, and there is an opportunity for you to assist this relationship in moving forward, but it's going to take two people to do this tango in order to make it work. For this minute, we're complete, Ashley. There's a little bit of feedback. I want to be respectful to my audience. I hope I've given you enough insight. I really appreciate your
Yeah, I'm
calling.
hearing you clearly.
Okay. Yes. All right. So we appreciate the questioning here, and we do hope you call us back at another time. Work on your new skill set. Money will be coming for you. Work on communication in the relationship. You're in a moment of a transition. We're either in or out, and that's where I see it. So pay attention to the clues. All right, Ashley, thank you so much for your call. We greatly appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye for now.
All right,
Bye.
thank you.
866-972-7247. We're going to go back to our phone lines, and I've got to go to Carol, and Carol is in New York. Carol, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing great, Carol. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Happy to make
Thank
this
you for having
connection
all
with
of us.
you. It is really a time for you to break that routine, get out of the box. I feel like you're feeling a little stuck, stagnant, going round and round, and where you stop, nobody knows. You're kind of feeling a little bit like you're in a circle, right? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
It does. Round and round she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows. But, Carol,
Nobody
there's a
knows.
reason for that, right? There's a reason, because you somehow lost yourself in these past 4 years, and now we've got to go back to center and back to what's important for Carol. And now Carol's got to take time for her. You're always the person, you're the go-to person, you're the get-her-done person. You've got the answers for a lot of people, but now Carol's got to take the time to get the answers together for yourself. Carol, what is your burning question for us tonight? How can we help you?
Yes, I'd like to know where do me and my husband stand.
This must be husband night here. Let's see.
Husband night, right?
Husband night. Them husbands not behaving. I don't know what to do with them husbands. All right, Carol.
Yeah, you
I
said
feel
that right.
closed off, disconnected. I don't feel like he's participating. This is his energy. He feels removed. What is your husband's birthday, please? Just the month and the day for me is good enough.
The third month, the 26th. Yesterday was his birthday.
The other guy was the third month, the 25th. So what are they, cousins or something? Like, what's going on? Like,
Aries.
Yeah, they're on fire, honey. They lit themselves up, don't know where they're going. But all right, let's take a look here. So in the case of your husband, yeah, your husband's never wrong. That's one of his.
You said that right.
That's one of his attributes. Yes, and he tends to be closed off to other people's opinion, but I feel him closed off emotionally, and I feel like the word I'm getting is distracted. Like other people's opinions and thoughts are mattering more than your opinions, and it's like when you talk, it's like Charlie Brown, wah, 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 and he ain't listening, honey. That's what I see. So where are you going now, Carol? This is your year to kind of take a look and put Carol as a priority. And I know we've invested time, and I know we've been together for a while. And where do you go from here?
35 years.
I know. So where do you go from here? Do you just keep the old dog, or you trade him in for another dog? That's kind of where you're at right now, right? Because he's not giving you what you want. And he's not showing you that he cares enough to even try to give you what you want. Right. And that's what's being frustrating to you. You know, you could see if he tried and then he's like had a setback, but he's just kind of closed off doing his own thing. I don't feel like he's always present for you, physically showing up in the house the way you want him to, or even listening when you talk, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Like yesterday, he came in banging on the door, and my grandson is Papa Jeff, right? I said, okay, let him in. He comes up, he said, where's me at? He comes upstairs in the room. I'm asleep. He said, hey, punk. I said, hey. He said, I'll talk to you later, and left.
Well, that's a lovely greeting.
Yeah, he always called me punk. I mean, that's nothing new.
So how does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? That doesn't make you feel very good, does it?
No, I said, that's kind of weird.
Correct. So he's not emotionally engaging. He's not showing up for you, right? So you either create your own life now within yourself and let him do what he wants. That's where you're at. You take care of Carol.
I don't call him. I don't text him.
Okay.
I don't bother him.
Okay, so it doesn't sound like we're in much of a relationship. As Spirit said, he's disconnected. So, Carol, do what's going to make things work for Carol at this time. And I have a feeling that Spirit's going to help you find a way to create a whole new life. You have to be open. You have to ask the universe for it. But I have a feeling that if you ask, Spirit's going to show up and give you something extra. So I want you to trust that experience, all right? We know it's many years, and we know it's disappointing to come this far and not have anything come of it.
Yeah,
but sometimes things have to change.
Craziest thing.
That's craziest thing.
The universe will only give you something, show you stuff that you need to be known.
Correct. And then you have to ask yourself, when did I miss all the clues before? And if I were to give you a timeline, I would take you, Carol, back to 2019 into 2020. That's when I would take you.
You're right.
That's when I would say the relationship started to change, and it's gone too far to really reel it in. But that's just showing you that maybe it's meant to go its own path, and let God open up the new doors for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know it can cause a lot of disappointment, a lot of heartache.
But I don't understand why he keeps popping up and at my house. He has no key. I took the key from him.
I understand.
He still has his mail come here, which I told him to change his address, so I started sending his mail back.
Yeah. Well, Carol, you see, he wants to have Some say in the household, but he doesn't want to be accountable. And one thing you're known for as a human, you're known for your integrity, your dependability, and accountability. That's who you are.
Right.
And he's not showing up for that. And you've worked long and hard to sustain and maintain what you have. And now it's time for you to, well, change gears. Now, if you are open, there is another relationship that comes for you. I know that we're still technically married, so of course I know things get complicated. But just be open. The universe is going to open up some new doors for you. There is another possibility of relationship for you. We can't keep holding on to something. Let it go and trust the universe is going to open up the doors.
Moving.
When you keep it moving, honey. He apparently is.
That's what I'm
so
doing.
You're going to keep it moving in your pace. The universe will let you know when's the perfect time, and will cover you.
Right.
You'll be fine. Thank you so much, Carol, for listening to the show. We greatly
Thank
appreciate
you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. God bless you. Bye for now. Bye.
God bless you too.
866-972-7247. We're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors, and then when we come back, we're going to visit our friends on Facebook. So let's get those questions going. Let's get our friends on YouTube engaging in this conversation. And of course, we're going to go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, and that's me, Sarah Spiritual, and we'll be right back.
In the room before I walk through the door, do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice?
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Do you know me? Do I know you? Have we met before? I've been standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your soul? Because you know that you know me. Every soul has
And we are back
its
here live on
story.
Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. And yes, every soul has its story. What's your story? Well, we're tuning into your story and we're talking to Spirit to see what Spirit has to answer for you. So let's go back to our phone lines at 866-972-7247. And we've got to go to Andrea. And Andrea is in West Palm Beach. Andrea, how are you today?
Hey, Sarah. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good to make this connection with you. What is your question for us tonight?
Well, my question is, I could ask you about my husband, but I want to ask you on cleansing, clearing a house, because I've had such difficulty with mine. And I know my master bedroom, do you get that it's coming from the ground, from a particular individual, and how do I clean it?
Okay, great question. Let me take a look and go into the house energetically, if I may, please. When I go to the back end of the house, left side, whose room? What room is that, please? As I walk in the front door, what's to the left, please?
Master bedroom.
Okay, that's the
Master
energy that's
bedroom,
cloudy there,
master
okay?
bath.
So that's what I see. So you are correct that that energy is off. But I also need to go in the front door, and then I need to walk in immediately and go to the right. What is that sitting area, that area right there? What is that area?
When you go straight in the family room, if you go straight and go a little bit to the right, there's a dining table there.
Okay.
With bookcase.
Okay.
The dining table?
Yes. So right in there as well, there's also a heaviness to that. Do we not always use that area, or what is that area for?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Don't really use it, just holidays mainly, yeah.
Okay. So that energy, when I sit at that energy there, that's the energy that when I walk through your house energetically, there's a lot of energy gathering there. So the way I'd love you to clean your house is I'd love you to start from the back to the front. I'd love you to start in the back end of your master bedroom. I'd love you to use a product. We have it at my center. It's called Copal. I'd love you to use Copal on charcoal. I'd love you to light the charcoal, let it get hot, put a few pieces of Copal. Start in the back of your bedroom. Do the closets, under the bed. Go through the house. Go from left to right, clearing the energy, bringing everything towards the front door. Bless the door, open it, and let the energy out. All right? Go through the entire house, opening closets, smoking. I also would love for you to use some reversing spray on a daily basis. Now, I'm going to go to the back.
I did buy that, yeah.
Perfect. So let's do some smoking out because we need to literally drive that energy out. I'd love for you to put some black tourmaline piece on the door jamb going into your bedroom. That's the little wood frame that's there. The small piece will fit right on the wood frame. I'd love you to put one above the doorway of your front door and above any doorway of another bedroom in the house, right? This prevents the energy from going in. But I am going to go to the outside of your house. And when I go to the outside of your house, there's some neighbors that we're not too fond of close to your house, please.
across the street, on the side?
On the side of your house or behind your house? Is there a neighbor that we're not friendly with, because not all of the energy is situated in your house. So there is some energy on the outside of the house that's kind of coming in. And if I go in the backyard and I go to the right towards the backyard, is there a tree to the right of the yard, please?
Yes, in our yard.
In your yard, correct. A little
There's
towards
a
the
lemon
right.
tree.
A left tree, okay. I want you to put...
Oh, a lemon tree.
A lemon tree to the right of... Okay, so I feel that there's a lot of energy that gathers around that tree for some reason.
It's funny, I was going to cut that down. I just thought about that today.
Okay, yeah. So cutting down the tree ends the energy of the tree, but it doesn't end the energy that's in the ground and around that, okay? So there's literally a spiritual energy that's gathering around there. So who's the neighbor closest to that tree? What's going on with those people?
It's towards the back of my yard.
Mm-hmm.
There is a golf course behind, but on that side is a man that doesn't live here full time, but he has been here more recent.
Okay.
I don't know him that well. I'm friendly with him, but I don't really know him that well.
All right. Well, we're not saying he's a horrible person. We're just saying that there's a lot of energy connected to that part and to your neighbor there.
Okay.
All right. So it also could be something that was in the land. So there's a product I make that I have to make more of. So we don't have it at the center yet. I have to make a new batch. So that should probably be towards the end of the week, depending on when one of my ingredients come. That's a yard protection mix. And this mix is something that we put on the ground to break up negative energy and make it flee. So you may not have to cut down the tree unless you really don't like the tree. But I always feel that our trees are there to give us energy. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, let me ask you, because I did have my land. Somebody had said this was Indian land.
Oh, it is.
Sacred
it
land.
Is. Absolutely. Yes.
It is.
Yes.
Okay. And that your house really should not have been built on this land?
Well, that can be true for a lot of the houses that are here in South Florida. That happens to a lot of people in Loxahatchee, in Royal Palm, in West Palm Beach. So that a lot of the land had been associated with native tribes way back when. It was land that was taken from the Indians. Sometimes it's close to an official burial ground for them, but we don't know that, right? And things were, because we weren't privy to that and it wasn't documented. So we've disrupted the land. We're guilty of that across the whole entire country. But here in South Florida, we have a lot of people whose homes have been built on energy and land that wasn't expecting it. That doesn't mean your house can't be there. We need to make peace to the land. Okay. So what we do is we feed the land, right? So besides putting protection, I also have a mix, again, something else I have to remake. That's an offering to the land to let the land know that we're here to tend to it and that we want to be released of any karmic ties, of any disturbances that have happened on the land. Like there's so many little things that you can do. Andrea, have you and I ever had a session together?
We have, and I do have one scheduled with you.
Perfect. So we'll go into details. I'll write all the notes for you, and we'll plan all the little things that you're going to do to kind of lift up the energy, and then things should start to calm down. Your rest should be better. Some of the times when you think you see something out of the corner of your eye, a lot of that should start to go away.
Okay. And do I have time real quick?
Yes.
For just to ask you, has this energy, because it does affect individuals and people, really affected my husband?
Husband's, what's his birthday, please?
He's more disturbed here, it seems.
What's his birthday?
11/10/71.
Okay. And particularly the end of 2023 coming into this year, he's been particularly agitated. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
The past 6-7 months, he's been even more agitated than normal? Yes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He is much more sensitive to it, but there's lots of little things we can do to kind of dissipate the energy so it doesn't hook into him. You know, you are more spiritual than he is. So
absolutely.
He is not aware of it, and so it just kind of gets him kind of edgy. I had a gentleman come in yesterday, and you know, he realized that he was getting agitated, and then he said, "Oh my goodness, I think it's because something's trying to make me not even want to be in here so that I don't get the help I need." So there are forces of energy that disrupt us, right? And I appreciate you giving me the opportunity
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, he's not aware, and this gentleman made the awareness, made the conclusion, but it was so interesting because he kept feeling himself getting more aggravated and agitated and angry and frustrated. He goes, "But that's not me," right? So much so that he had 2 experiences interacting with some of our staff, and he was highly agitated. And so he finally put it together. It's like, these people are here to help me, and why am I being such a jerk, right? So, you know, we had a great time in the reading room, and he calmed down, but it was just really a matter of his frequency just did not want him to come into something that could lift it up, okay? So we lift up the energy in your house. We teach you what to do. Doesn't mean we have to leave. Doesn't mean we have to move. We just need to make peace with the land. We teach you how to clean it, and we can definitely balance out that energy.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Thank you for a lovely conversation. I always love when I get to go visit people's houses, even though I didn't actually go in. But energetically, thank you for welcoming me in your home. And, you know, I love being able to help you clear. And my going into the home has already begun the clearing process. So we just need to follow up with some of the other instructions. All right. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
All right. Bye for
Thanks
now.
so much, Sarah.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye.
866-972-7247. We're going to pop right back on the phone lines, and I've got to go to Janet, and Janet is in Chicago. Janet, how are you doing tonight?
Oh, hi, Sarah. How are you? I'm good.
Good. Glad that you're doing good. Good to make this connection with you again, Janet. And your birthday's coming up, huh? So what are we going to do about that, right? Are you with me, Janet? My goodness, I think we might have lost Janet. All right, so we're going to take a minute to hear from our sponsors. Then when we come back, we're going to see if we can get Janet back on the phone and get to see what's going on with our technology here. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your soul? Because you know that you know me. Every soul has its story, like a movie playing in a different theater. And the characters, they change like water into wine. Everything comes when the stars align.
Stay tuned for more Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, coming up right after the break. Continue the conversation with Sarah Spiritual on Facebook and YouTube. The phone lines are open too. 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247.
Come visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center for an extensive array of spiritual products, crystals, books, classes, readings, and healing services in a beautiful spiritual oasis. You must visit the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Come feel the energy and explore our unique products. Arrange for your own personal spiritual reading with Sarah Spiritual for spiritual insight. The Expedito Enlightenment Center is located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard, Suite 129 in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955. Visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com. That's EXPEDITO enlightenmentcenter.com for yourself. Or for a thoughtful gift, there's no better place to visit than the Expedito Enlightenment Center in West Palm Beach. Call 561-682-0955 or visit online at expeditoenlightenmentcenter.com.
Sarah Spiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor and medium. She can connect you with your loved ones, your spirit guides, and ascended beings. Sarah specializes in love, relationships, money, career, health, and healing. She has an uncanny ability to convey the true thoughts and emotions of those around you. Just call 561-682-0956 for your personal reading. Life is a spiritual journey, and each situation has a spiritual solution. Just contact Sarah for a personal reading today. 561-682-0956. 561-682-0956. Or visit sarahspiritual.com. Or that number one more time, 561-682-0956. Let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit raise you up.
Hi, I'm Sarah Spiritual, the founder of the Expedito Enlightenment Center. I would love for you to visit me at my spiritual oasis located at 4047 Okeechobee Boulevard in the Tree of Life Plaza in West Palm Beach. Come, feel the energy, sample my spiritual sprays and oils, participate in one of my spiritual development classes, and have a personal reading with me, Sarah Spiritual. Let's see what Spirit has to say. You can call the Expedito Enlightenment Center at 561-682-0955. Not local? Visit me, Sarah Spiritual, at sarahspiritual.com for products, classes, and to book your personal session.
You are listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah, your spiritual advisor and medium. Connect with Sarah Spiritual and be in the energy of light. Call right now, Sarah Spiritual, at 866-9-SARAHS. That's toll free, 866-972-7247. Just ask your questions or message Sarah Spiritual live on Facebook and YouTube.
Standing in the room before I walk through the door. Do you know me? Have you heard me? Have you seen me? Do you know my voice? Did you call me with your soul?
And we are back here live on Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation at 866-972-7247. We're not able to get our caller from Chicago back. Somehow the call dropped. So we're hoping she picks up the phone and joins us back in. But in the meantime, we're going to go to another call. It's here in South Florida. Well, actually the west side of Florida. We're going to Naples. And we've got Angie, baby, on the line. Angie, how you doing?
Hi, Sarah. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Angie. Good to make this connection with you again. Good to welcome you back on the show for your question. Where shall we go tonight? What are your questions for us?
So So I got an unexpected call last Thursday from somebody whom I share a mutual contact with, and this information affected both of us, but it affected her a lot more than me. And I know she was pretty upset about it. She said she was going to check in with me in a few days. I'm a little bit worried about her, but I don't know if it's my place to actually like call her or check back in with her.
Well, if you're concerned for matters of the heart, you're concerned for her, then I think that this would be something that you could do. Even though she said she was going to check in with you, you could just say, hey, I know this hit you hard, and, I've been reflecting on it as well, and, I just wanted to check and make sure you're good. There's nothing wrong with doing that, extending a branch of kindness, a bit of energy to let someone know that you care. This came out of left field. Is that also true?
Yes.
Very unexpected closure, yes?
Yes. Closure on my part.
Yes. So what is the question around your thoughts and your emotions, Angie? How can we assist you in navigating this?
I don't really... I know, I guess, what's going to happen when I see this person in the future, because I know I'm going to be seeing a lot of them, but, I don't really feel I need to say anything to this person, though, but I am going to be seeing him at, like, gatherings and stuff, so.
Correct. But there is some sense of betrayal in this story, is that correct?
Yeah.
And does it have to do with some financial dealings as well, please?
Not really financial, no.
Okay. There's something having to do with money around you, so I just want you to be aware of that. I don't know what you're getting ready to close or complete here, or a transaction. We do want you to be careful with a transaction, that everything is on the up and up. I know that part of that may be the nature of your business, but just keep an eye on that, because Spirit has had me write down the word money around you, and money having to do with contracts, transactions, something official that needs to be sorted out and kind of signed off on, but something's not quite lining up. So make sure nothing kind of gets swept under the rug and then you get caught empty-handed in that story. But this person is not being authentic, and they're not living up to what they're supposed to live up to in their dealings with people. So just know that when you see them, there's nothing for you to say. Your silence will say everything. There's no reason to ask a question of someone who's not going to give you the truth anyhow. So it's not for them to even know that you're bothered by it. Just know that their actions are going to catch up with them, and things are going to bounce back on them. That is something that I see. That is something that they've created. It is not the first time that they have created this divide between people. So you're just seeing them in a different light than the light that you're used to seeing them, and you had them in a different vision. Angie, this is going to be uncomfortable, but so many people gravitate to you, you will not even know that they're in the room once you take your attention off of them. But I would definitely check on your friend. I feel like they took it hard as well. And it's not to gossip, it's just to check and make sure that they have it in the right perspective, and they can just brush it off their shoulders and move themselves forward and not feel burdened by it. Does that make sense to you, Angie?
Okay. Yeah. Can you tell if she's if she's physically okay, or is there anything you can see that way?
I'm not seeing anything critical in the physical, Angie, by your question. Nothing's coming for that. So we have to trust that she will be all right through this experience. And you can send the angels, Archangel Raphael, to be with her, to balance the energy out. But we're not picking up on anything that is disturbing at this time around her. So just know that she will be all right. All right? She will be all right.
Okay.
Good-hearted person, this person, yes? Your friend is a very good-hearted person, is what my guides tell me, yes?
Okay, great.
All right, Angie. We trust that we've answered your question, yes?
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm also seeing a trip for you, so I do want you to know that I see you taking a trip. So I want you to trust that there'll be a successful trip coming in your future. So if you've been entertaining a trip, get packing. Yep.
Yes, I'm going to. I just got back from New York, and I'm going to Texas next month.
All right. Well, then, deep in the heart of Texas, yeehaw! It's going to be a good trip to Texas. My guides tell me it'll be fun for you. So enjoy that, and also enjoy the fact that you're having a little more flexibility in life, and this is something that you've needed. And this is your time to shine and have more fun in life. All right? Thank you so much for your call. We greatly appreciate it, Angie. Bye for now.
Thank you. Have a blessed night.
You too. Bye. It's always interesting to see what curveballs life may show us and how we can all maybe get something around us that we're not expecting, right? An unexpected reaction from someone, a disappointment. Earlier in the show, we talked about our broken hearts. So when life throws you a curveball, know that it's not meant to knock you down. It's really meant for you to see something from a different angle and to move yourself in the energy of what you want life to be and not lose yourself in what wasn't and what disappointed you. These disappointments are only going to weigh you down. And remember that the divine, the angels, your guides, or even our loved ones on the other side, they see further than what we see. And they see the truth of a story. And sometimes we're caught up in the story and we don't recognize all the aspects of the story that are unfolding. And our guides and our angels, they are all here to help us make the choices that are going to be for our highest good. So there's that saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Do the best you can with where you're at. Be kind to yourself, be gentle. Know that by loving yourself and putting yourself first is not selfish, it's self-care. As long as caring for self doesn't cause any harm to another, it is all right to fill your cup before you share your cup. We can't give from an empty cup. And for those of you who have been navigating heartache, disappointment, loss, know that you're never alone. And that in the journey of life, when life is feeding you experiences that are not to your liking, we have to trust that somehow everything's working out for you. We wish you the best. Thank you so much for listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. We welcome you calling next week and every Wednesday night from 6:30 to 9 p.m. For now, we bid you farewell. Good night. God bless you. And I am Sarah Spiritual.
They don't work anymore. We have lost a love for everyone. We have hurt each other.
This has been Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. You can hear and speak with Sarah Spiritual every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Each week, Sarah Spiritual and Spirit answer your most important questions as you navigate through life. Listen and call in next week and let Sarah Spiritual and Spirit guide you. If you didn't have a chance to speak with Sarah Spiritual tonight, visit Sarah at sarahspiritual.com. You can message Sarah Spiritual at Facebook and follow her on Instagram. Tune in every Wednesday from 6:30 to 9 p.m. with more from Spiritually Speaking with Sarah.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were